Namaskara and good evening, everybody, to this edition of Spiral of Wisdom. Before we start off, may I request Swati to say the school prayer?
Good evening, everyone. I welcome all of you to this wonderful satsang today. Here goes the school prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom, O hidden light, shining in every creature, O hidden love, embracing all in oneness, may each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ramesh. I'll be a host for the satsang today. And we have a very interesting topic, and which has fascinated many people, Atlantis and its implications, by Mr. Juzer Udaipuri. A quick brief about our speaker today. Mr. J.A. Udaipuri is a distinguished solicitor and advocate with a strong academic and professional background. He holds a BCom, a BA in sociology, an LLB, and a Master's of Law, where he has topped his class in various years and earned a gold medal. He is also a solicitor for the Supreme Court of England and Wales and has completed his second year of BA through distant education at the University of Mumbai. Additionally, he holds a diploma in yoga education and is a graduate of the Landmark Forum. That's interesting. I'd done the forum myself. Mr. Udaipuri began his career in 1990, completing his articleship at Messrs. Bhaishankar Kanga and Girdhar Lal, and has been practicing independently since 92. His expertise spans across criminal and civil matters, and he particularly specializes in litigation related to money recovery and so on. Mr. Udaipuri has a good command of English, typing and drafting with strong knowledge of computers. Apart from his legal work, Mr. Udaipuri has actively contributed to community and personal development. He has trained participants in public speaking and personality development at the Yoga Institution and the Modi Care Network Marketing Company. He is a member of Toastmasters and has served as the president of multiple Lion clubs and zone chairpersons of Lion District 323A3. He also writes articles on law for social media and aims to pursue a doctorate in law and sociology, as well as becoming a senior counsel and distinguished Toastmaster. So I think Mr. Juze comes with many credentials. Of course, we all know about Toastmasters, how effective they are in the communication, but Mr. Juze combines that with his own, as a seeker of personal growth. So a very interesting topic today. Without much more ado, over to you, Mr. Juze.
All right, am I good to go?
Yes, please.
Yes. Folks, good evening to all of you. And this is Juzer Udaipuri. And today we will be sharing some ideas on Atlantis and its inspiration. Am I clearly audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. Please keep on reminding me if I tend to faint off. So then I will come back and I will repeat if required. Atlantis has occupied the minds of people right from times immemorial. We are all fascinated. How was its civilization? What were they doing? How were they living? What were they spiritually? Were they evolved or were they material? All these various kinds of questions assail us. And I assure you that for the first time in history, Atlantis was written down by Plato in his book, the Timaeus. Before Plato, Atlantis was not heard of. In his book, Timaeus, Plato describes Atlantis, talks of Atlantis And Plato himself also did not have any first-hand knowledge. He is supposed to have been informed by his grandfather called Solon. Solon was the patriarch of Athens and was avowedly known grandfather of Plato, could be a great grandfather as well, because in those times written history was not very clear. So Solon, being the patriarch of Athens, and in his younger days he had traveled to Greece. He had traveled to Egypt, I'm sorry. And in Egypt he met very, very senior priests, senior masters. And these spiritual priests, these spiritual masters had told Solon, "Oh Solon, you Greeks are just children. What do you know of the evolution of this earth and of man?" And Solon learned many things from the Egyptian priests. He says that he also saw hieroglyphs which recorded the progress and the existence of Atlantis. Having come back to Greece, he shared this knowledge with Plato, his grandson. Solon was a very, very famous man in Greek history. He was made the patriarch of Athens. He became the lawgiver of Athens. And at the height of his fame, he retired from public life. So if you check on Solon in any of the history books, you will find good things written about him. So we can take it that Solon is a credible source of information as regards the information that he got from the Egyptian priests. But about Atlantis, there is very little except what Plato writes. Therefore, Atlantis for us is largely a story. We do not have any historical data about Atlantis. How big was this piece of land, this mass of land? Who were the inhabitants of Atlantis? What were they doing? Now, there are lots of movies, lots of plays, novels, novellas, stories, legends, myths which are weaved around Atlantis. Largely, we don't know. We don't know a lot. We only know this, and again, this is from certain sources which Plato quotes, and which is also esoterically available, because today our discussion is not on history or sociology, politics or religion. Today we are into a wisdom conversation. So as I develop my talk, I will also be heading towards a certain wisdom conversation that we can borrow from the Atlanteans and their offsprings, the Greeks, the Hellenistic civilization. So we don't have a lot of information about the Atlanteans, but one thing we kind of know, that they were technologically very advanced, and they tried to play games with the poles of this planet Earth. They tried to alter the poles for their benefit. And planet Earth did not seem to like it. And therefore, the Great Flood ensued. The Great Flood is a common strain, is a common story, is a common legend, is a common myth, is a common reality, and even now it's a scientifically accepted reality that the earth did go through a great flood. But before that, I just want to share one more thought with you. See, we don't have a lot of undersea exploration about Atlantis. Atlantic Ocean, of course, takes its name from Atlantis, but we don't have any definite proof that Atlantis existed. Underwater exploration doesn't exist. But this is also equal to, let's say, Troy. About 100 years back, Troy was considered to be a myth. So when people read the Homer's Iliad and saw that the Greeks attacked Troy, and there was this Trojan horse and all the things that go with it, the Achilles and the heroes and the villains and Helen of Troy, people thought it's a story. But in the early part of the last century, about 1912, they found that Troy did exist in today's Turkey, And there is not one Troy, there are multiple Troys. There are layers and layers of Troy. That means this was a city prehistory, before recorded history ever came into existence. Troy did exist. Same thing is about our own Ramayan's Ram Setu. We don't have proof of Ram Setu, but the Ramayana talks about it. Now today it is a myth, it's a story, it's a legend. Ram took his Vanar Sena across the Ram Setu. But who knows, someday with better technology, with better means of discovery, something is found, which may not be according to what we know today, but it could be very different. But still, it would be a truth. We don't know. Same thing also goes for the Mahabharata, the great war. In the Mahabharata, they say there was a conjunction of these stars in a certain formation when the war was fought for 18 days. Today, there is no historical data about the Mahabharata war. It's a legend. And Mahabharata and Ramayana are two books, two legends, two epics, which all Hindus, all people of all caste, creed in India, they almost believe it to be true. Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Ravan, Bharat, Duryodhan, Arjun, Krishna, household items, household entities. We relate to them as realities. So the point I'm trying to generate is that our technology today, which is hardly 150 years, 200 years old, has not been able to discover Atlantis. There is also a theory called the Silurian hypothesis, which says that we should not look at logical data, but we should look at chemical data and civilizations earlier to that. It will someday happen in the future. We don't know. What is important to note is that the Atlanteans destroyed themselves because of excessive progress. But not everything in Atlantis got destroyed. And this is the hope that we as individuals today carry, that there were wise men in Atlantis, there were masters, there were people with great spiritual elevation who survived. And they saw the forthcoming of the destruction of Atlantis. They saw the annihilation of Atlantis, and therefore it is believed esoterically that these masters, they left Atlantis. Some of them migrated to Europe, some of them migrated to Central America, some of them migrated to Egypt. And they carried that technology with them. These great masters are supposedly responsible for the construction of the pyramid and the Sphinx. Now, the pyramid and the Sphinx is again a session which can be taken separately and distinctly, because there's a lot to be said about the Sphinx. There is a lot to be said about the pyramids, because it is almost impossible for human hands to have constructed the pyramids. It's not possible. The Sphinx, it's got a human face, a body of a bull, claws of a lion, wings of an eagle. Why? There is a mystery to that. There is a meaning to that. It means, in short, of course, there is a session which can be taken on Sphinx, but the bottom line idea is that the human intellect can control the beast within. We are all animals at the end of the day. But the wisdom of man, the intelligence of man, not the intellect. Intellect is what we use in our daily living. The intelligence, the divine intelligence, the supreme intelligence, the rightful intelligence, the righteous intelligence. This can be used to control the beast within man. And that's what the Sphinx actually talks of. But that's a different topic we'll take on some other day. For a moment, we'll stick to Atlantis. Folks, I also want to make it very abundantly clear, and I just said in my earlier session, that we will steer clear of religion, politics, sociology, economics. All these humanitarian studies are intimately connected to wisdom studies. But in our times, because of certain forces, any discussion on these subjects becomes politically incorrect. And because we are in a spiritual organization, I will maximum try to steer away from controversial observations for obvious reasons. So coming back to Atlantis. So Atlantis got destroyed, but their masters were able to migrate to other lands. And therefore, the druids of the Celtic civilization, the priests of Central America, of the Mayas, the Toltecs, the Aztecs, were all influenced by the Atlantean wisdom. Can you imagine a city called Tenochtitlan in Central America, which is called the city where man becomes God, belonging to pure barbarians? What were Toltecs, Aztecs, the Mayas, these people who inhabited Central America? From where would they get the idea that man can become God? You take another example from Europe, from the Greek civilization, Hercules. Where would the Greeks get the idea that Hercules, by passing the 12 trials, can become a god? We humans have the potential to become gods. And where do you get this idea from? This idea is an offshoot, is a vestige, is a teaching of the Atlanteans, of the masters who left the Atlantean shores, came to Egypt, went to Europe, went to Central America. Esoterically, now this is a little subtle and I'll go a little slow on this. Esoterically, according to Theosophy and Madame Blavatsky, who is the founder of the Theosophy as we know it, there are globes, chains, humanities, and subhumanities. Today we are in the fifth chain, fifth globe, fourth humanity, and fourth subhumanity. This is our esoteric address, in the sense that this earth, this globe that we live in, is the fifth globe. That means there were 4 globes earlier. We've been in our previous incarnations. Now, what are the various incarnations that we have? We have mineral, we have plant, we have animal, and we have human. So in the previous incarnations, we were on different globes. We were on different planets. So moon is considered to be one of our earlier homes. Again, we'll take it or leave it. It's up to you. This is esoterically available. I'm sharing it with you. Now, common sense would say moon is barren. Yes. Moon cannot sustain life. Yes. But then esoterically, this is the accepted belief. We are talking esoterically. We're talking philosophically. To believe or not to believe is your jurisdiction. It is your domain. We are also on the fifth globe, that is Earth, in the fifth chain. That means we have gone through various developments as humans to become what we are today. You see this hand, you see this face, you see my fingers, you see my legs if I stand up. Is all nothing but is consciousness evolving me. Now Darwin says that human beings arose from apes. Now that is one version. Our version is that consciousness has shaped us to be humans. Now, our version, esoteric version, is equally logical, equally sensible. Why is it man has this inner drive to search for meaning in life? Why is it that man, woman, both, has this drive to understand the meaning of life? Where have I come from? Where am I going? What is my purpose of life? What is my meaning of life? Why am I driven the way I am? What am I as a lawyer talking in philosophy to you? Why would I do that? It's because consciousness has shaped us. Prior to us, we were chayas, cyclopes, spores. But again, that's a different topic. The evolution of man, that we can take up some other day, because again, that is a full 1-hour session, how we evolve. So the esoteric address that we have is 5544. And the Atlanteans had this address 5543. They were one level below us. Now, what do you mean one level below us? See, esoterically, it is a model that we have. It's a model. Ultimately, we have to understand things in terms of paradigms so that our mind can capture it. There are things that our minds cannot capture. Life, our mind cannot capture. Purpose of life, meaning of life, where we come from, where we are going, we cannot capture. Human mind is incapable of doing that. So therefore, we create paradigms. And one of the paradigms is that this is Thula, matter. Below matter, there is bioenergy, prana. Above prana is linga, astral, emotional. Above the astral is kama manas, mind moved by desire, mind inspired by desire. Above that, above the kama manas, is pure mind, manas. And of course, there is buddhi, atma. Buddhi, atma, we cannot even talk. We have no idea what it is. What is pure intellect, what is pure intelligence is beyond our domain. But we have some inkling of pure sentiments. And what would these pure sentiments be? Sentiments of generosity, sentiments of love, sentiment of compassion. Buddha is known for compassion. Where did that sentiment come from? Because Buddha was a Manasa Putra. He was the son. Putra means child of pure Manas, compassion. Generosity, compassion, love. Justice, Mahat, pure justice. What is karma? When Buddha talks of karma, what is he talking of? He's talking of universal Mahat. He's talking of a justice beyond human justice. Just giving you an idea, why is it that some people suffer and some people enjoy the sweetness of life? All of you sitting here, all of you are listening to me. We are approximately 13 people here, minus me, 12 people here. Why do you think we are so comfortable talking of philosophy? We don't have the anxiety to earn our daily livelihood. We are not going to work. We are not coming from office because we enjoy the sweet spot of life, in the words of John Milton. We are lucky. Our karma is such that it is taking us into philosophy. This is justice beyond our understanding. And we shall remain on this path because we are now on this path, and some of us will become the path someday, who will go so deep into this path that they will evolve. But anyway, we are on the process of evolution. Let's not digress. Let's come back to what the esoteric address is. So the esoteric address the Atlanteans had was 5543, and our address is 5544. That means some Atlanteans who were the masters, who were the spiritual, who had spiritual understanding, they knew that they need to move forward. They need to go towards 5544. And therefore they moved out. And therefore they became people like us, moved by desire, yes, but they were also looking beyond. The Atlanteans, the general Atlanteans that we know a little of, were ambitious. Their minds were fired by desire, but they were still in the astral realm. They were unsuccessful. They tried to tinker with the poles, as I just mentioned, and the great flood ensued. Now, the great flood is, you will find in the Bible, Noah constructed a boat, an ark, where he put one species of animal, and for 40 days and 40 nights it rained. Manu, our own Indian Manu, he had a nauka, and that nauka landed in the Himalayas near Manali. There is a spot where a tour guide will take you and tell you that this is where nauka came and stopped of Manu, our lawgiver. Now you see the similarity. Noah, nauka, and among the Arabs it is Nu. That means that there was something which started with the alphabet or with the consonant N. And that somebody, that entity somehow survived. Or that entity could have been a boat, Nauka, in which masters moved from Atlantis to the lands that were not submerged. And Himalayas, very significant. Don't you feel? High, beyond the reach of the oceans, the rising waters, makes logical sense. Why would Nauka go there? So all of us who were below were submerged under the seas. Manu is a generic name for man. Manas. You will find this name, Manu, Mana, common for man among many civilizations. Similar sounding words, menace. You will find these names similar because there is something which is similar to all civilizations. China, India, Japan, Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia, Persia, Egypt, Europe, Celts, North America, South America. These all civilizations have common roots. Somehow or the other, the wisdom was common amongst all of them. It's not that one was superior to the other. Wise men, sensible men, spiritual men were born in all civilizations who looked at life in similar way. So you will find the flood myth everywhere. So Atlantis died, yes. And Atlantis had one child called Egypt. Egypt is a different topic altogether. It's massive. I can only tell you this, that should you ever get a chance to visit Egypt, you will be awed by the splendor of the ruins of those temples. Just imagine if the ruins can have this splendor, what it must be in the times of its grandeur. It's unimaginable. The beauty, the magnificence, the loveliness of that civilization, we cannot even conceive, because the ruins today are so grand. They flummox you. They flatten your mind. We cannot imagine that a civilization could have been there in Egypt which reached such heights. And what does modern man call Egyptians? People who worked with chisel and hammer? And yet their temples are huge. Their temples are what we cannot even construct with our modern technology. How could slave labor, how could people with a chisel and a hammer construct a civilization? Therefore, it is obvious logically. I mean, again, this is not scientifically proven today, but someday it may be that the Egyptian pyramids, the Egyptian temples, the Egyptian Sphinx were created by a technology, by a civilization far in advance than what we believe today. Our science believes it to be today. So one child of Atlantis was Egypt. And Egypt gave certain very valid, very long-lasting ideas to the grandest civilization we have seen, and that is Greeks, Hellenistic civilization. There is nothing in this world. India, of course, we are rich and we are an ongoing civilization today. Yes, India must be given credit. China is also an ongoing civilization. I give full credit to China. But we are discussing today Greeks as the grandchildren of the Atlanteans. And we are talking and praising Greeks because of the sheer magnificence, of the sheer beauty of their thought. Nothing in Western civilization, I mean, Western civilization as of today is nothing but a baby. It's the baby of the Greeks. Where do you get ideas of thinkers, of philosophers, of reformers, of scientists, of writers, unless you look at the Greek writings? The Greeks were the first to divorce politics, religion, and pure philosophy. Gods were made humans. So you had a god like Zeus, who was very profligate, a flirt. He would sleep around with women. His wife was Hera, who was the jealous goddess, a goddess of all the gods. Then you had gods who were flirtatious, gods of the metal, gods of wine, gods of sport, gods of opportunity. So what the Greeks did is that they gave every human facet a god, just as we have in India. In India, every facet of human being has a god. So similarly, the Greeks had a similar conception, but they divorced gods from living. This is the magic of the Greek civilization. Nothing can beat this. In India, religion and philosophy are intertwined. In Egypt, philosophy and religion was intertwined. Immortality among the Egyptians, mummification. The pharaoh was the son of God. You had Isis and Osiris and Isis, the god and the goddess, and their son Horus. All this was mixture of religion and living and philosophy. But the Greeks were the first people who divorced this. And for this, we must be extremely thankful. Our rationality today that we have, we call ourselves rational human beings. We call ourselves intelligent human beings. This intelligence is because the Greeks divorced religion, politics from philosophy. Brilliant. And the Greeks started thinking. Now, who are the Greek philosophers? Some of the philosophers that you should know are, Socrates. Now, peculiar thing about Socrates is, except for Plato, Socrates is not known. The only person who wrote about Socrates is Plato, his disciple, his student. So therefore, we do not have any independent evidence of Socrates having lived, having debated, having been a nuisance to the Athenians. And the Athenians then got so tired that they sentenced him to death by drinking of the hemlock. Now again, that's a different story. Socrates was, as I said, the oracle said that Socrates is the wisest man of Greece, the wisest man in Athens. But that's a different story. We will deal with it maybe some other time when I'm given the opportunity of coming again and talking about another civilization in a context of self-evolution and philosophy, theosophy. So we have Socrates, but we have a lot of writings of Plato. Plato is considered to be, see the beautiful way he's described, he's identified and is introduced. He is the first drop of the monsoon. Please mark my words and write it. They're so beautiful. He is the first drop of the monsoon of the sixth humanity. That means Plato has been taken to a level beyond the current humanity. He was so wise. Of course, these are words at the end of the day. But the fact of the matter is, Plato has got a significant contribution to human thought and Hellenistic thought. After Plato, we have Aristotle, who was the teacher of Alexander. And Aristotle is famous because Aristotle, for the first time, brought empirical thinking, observational thinking to philosophy. And therefore, Aristotle is a philosopher, yes. But he is an observational philosopher. So all thought which took place among the Romans and among the Christian era, Renaissance, owes itself to Aristotle. We have Democritus, Pythagoras. Pythagoras is a separate session altogether. Pythagoras was great as a mathematician, as a philosopher. And by the way, I must tell you in passing, Pythagoras had his training in Egypt, and Pythagoras also came to India. And in India, he mixed with the priests on the banks of the Ganges. And in Indian writings in history, it is said that there was a Yavana who came to India, and Yavana is actually a Greek in Sanskrit, in Hindi, in Indian context. So Pythagoras came to India and he understood how Indian thinking is, and he went back and he started a school. And of course, the rest is history. Pythagoras was one of the greatest masters this world has ever seen. Unfortunately, decadence, fanaticism, misplaced religious zeal, misplaced nationalistic jingoism, misplaced enthusiasm to say that I am right and everybody else is wrong, has destroyed these great masters and their contribution to mankind. Folks, I must only tell you this, that there is nothing new that you and I can think and create. The masters of yore have thought of everything. They have written of everything. They have created everything. What you can create is only technology. You can only create in mobiles. You cannot create human thought. Concept like universal love, concept like fraternity, brotherhood of mankind. These are all thoughts, these are all innovations of the Greeks. Even Jesus Christ's concept of universal love and brotherhood is nothing but borrowed from the Greeks. Prophet Muhammad's concept of equality before God, all men are equal, is a concept from Greece. So Greece has thought of everything. There is nothing that you and I can really now give in terms of a new paradigm. And that is the poverty of our current civilization. In fact, we are also passing through a dark age now. But again, taking too many concepts right now and delving into them, we will take away from our pure concept of Atlanteans and its implications. I could deal with these concepts separately on a separate session. So we will limit ourselves only to this, but I must say this, there is nothing new that we can give to this world. Every conceivable thought, every beautiful sentiment, every excellent feeling has already been written, has been debated, discussed, and has been given to mankind by the Greek philosophers of yore. Hats off to them for what they've thought. What is that one thing which the Greeks also gave us as a legacy from the Atlanteans? The Greeks, for the first time, said, and this is recorded, that evolution is irresistible. You have to evolve. Matter has to evolve. Now, we are made of matter. We have to evolve. So evolution will take place with two mechanisms. One is that we all know the mechanism of pain. Pain is a motor for evolution. So if you undergo pain, you will have to evolve. And other method to evolve is self-study, is swadhyaya, which you all people undertake, you all people do. We read books, we reflect on it, we prepare notes, we work in accordance to what we have absorbed. We try to work on our higher sentiments. That is the other way to evolve. But these are the two motors of evolution. And it is this that the Greeks gave us for the first time. So evolution will happen no matter what, whether you like it or not, whether you do it voluntarily or not, evolution will push. Now, what are the tools that are available esoterically for evolution? So I will discuss now a tool which the ancient Greeks gave us and which is also part of our theosophical study, because ultimately Madame Blavatsky also brought this tool to the world. And I'm sure all of you know that Madame Blavatsky's writings, writings are very esoteric, because she has mixed and matched many sources together, making the writings eclectic, making the writings rich. And she has not given prominence to any one civilization. All civilizations are wisdom civilizations. Everybody has said the same thing in different manner. So, Swati, can I request you to put in the first model that I had sent you yesterday? It's the 3 circles of Soma, Psyche, and Nous. Can you just put it up by screen share?
Sure.
Until the time she puts up, audience, I want to ask you, are you all with me? Are you all following? There is no issue?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, it's very clear and very interesting.
Okay, thank you. Good enough. And yeah, Swati, can you put the time sharing? Swati, please guide me once you put it on. Is Swati there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Swati, I will take the first circle, the circle, 3 circles. Let me see. No, not this one. Yes, this one. Yes, this one. Okay, everybody can see that. Yeah, thank you. The tool is of 3 mirrors. Can you all see? Please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now, for the first time, the Greeks, these are all Greek words. Soma, psyche, and nous. Soma, of course, is very easy to understand, is matter, inert, it is polluted. Matter, as we all know that matter is inanimate. Matter cannot animate itself. So what animates matter? It is the psyche, it is the mind, it is you, it is the mental. It is you who animate the matter, the inanimate matter. Now you see, there is, before I go to the nous, before I go to the divine, there is a overlap between psyche and soma. Do you see that? Hello, do you see that? There's an overlap between psyche and soma.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Now see, if soma gives its shadow to the psyche, because the psyche is the one which will ultimately reflect. It's the mirror. It's the mirror which will either go up or will go, it will either go up or it will go down. So assuming if this hand is soma, and if the psyche turns down, it will absorb everything of the animal self. It will absorb all the vices, the pollution, the viciousness of the component of matter. Now, for a moment, you reverse the mirror. You make this as the psyche and this as the nous. Then the mind, this is the mind, it will reflect the divine, the pure, the spirit. And you will be having the divine self. You will reflect the divine self. What it means is this, that the masters of yore, the masters of the past, and even masters today, there are masters even available in our own society. Like your Mani Kantawala was one master. And there can be other masters amongst your midst. What these masters do is that they reflect the nous. They reflect the divine. So kindness, compassion, understanding, generosity, all the higher sentiments which are there are reflected in the mind, in the nous. Now, you can't reach the nous. The nous is beyond us. This nous is beyond. We cannot reach it. But we can reflect it in the psyche. Similarly, when this is the soma, and I am here, I am the psyche, I am capturing the soma. I am capturing the soma. But at the same time, the nous is also pulling me up. The nous is also forcing me up. Therefore, the mind will remain between the nous and the soma, and therefore this conflict within us. Do you know the conflict that is happening within us all the time? The conflict of, I hate that person. Oh, I can let it go. These are two different thoughts. They are distinct thoughts. One is of hatred and the other is of generosity. So when you hate, it is the soma reflecting on the psyche. But at the same time, you have another thought where the nous is also trying to tell the psyche, look at me, be compassionate, be generous, let it go, let it go, let it go. Folks, are you with me? So this is the tool that the Greeks gave us. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So this is one tool that the Greeks gave us, of the 3 mirrors, where we must endeavor to reflect the nous in our lives. So the nous is everything that is pure, everything that is beautiful, culture, arts, dance, song, music, then compassion, generosity, kindness, love, brotherhood, fraternity. All these are sentiments that come from the manas. Manas means pure mind. Mind untainted by matter. And this is reflected in the nows. So if you reflect it all the time, your life becomes better and better. Better and better. You need to keep on wiping and see that your mirror doesn't turn down. Mirror doesn't turn down. Keep the mirror turned up to the nows. So this is tool number 1. Swati, let's have the next tool. Yes. I was just discussing with you where the Atlanteans were and where we are. So this is the sevenfold constitution of man. This is the sevenfold constitution of man. Your sthula, gross matter, prana, bioenergy, linga, emotional, astral, kama, manas, mind moved by desires. We have antakarana, the bridge. We have manas, pure mind, buddhi, pure intellect, and atma, pure consciousness. Now today we are at the level of the kama manas, but we are also struggling to become manasa putra. Please try to understand that these are all interrelated concepts. So when I am jumping from concept to concept, I know it would be difficult for you because most of you do not have a background of theosophy, but I'm going as slow as possible, and I'm also trying to give you as much value as possible for the time that we share together. So today we are at the level of the kama manas, the mind moved by desire. So what does our mind do? Our mind separates long, short, tall, small, fat, thin, rich, poor, male, female, black, white, man, woman. These are all distinctions created by the mind moved by desire because the mind wishes to understand the world. Now I give you a small example. Will a lion ever bother about whether he eats a white man or a black man? The lion doesn't understand a white man or a black man. For him, an ape, a human being, an ape is just food. So therefore, the concept of black and white does not exist in the lion's mind because he is not at the level of the kama manas. He is at the level of the prana. Sthula is he is at the level between the prana and the linga. In fact, between these bodies, there are also various sub-bodies. So I would therefore put a lion between the linga and the prana. There is a method to study that as well. But that's a little technical. We'll maybe deal with it some other day when I'm invited again. What are the various sub-bodies within the sthula? Because within the sthula, there is also the sthula atma, the sthula buddhi, the sthula manas. Each of them have got 7 subdivisions. So prana, prana atma, prana buddhi, prana manas. We have linga, linga atma, linga buddhi, linga manas. We have similar gradations and subgradations. So therefore, a lion would not identify a white man or a black man. For him, food is food. But if you have a hunter will identify, am I shooting a black man or am I shooting a white man? Because we are able to create distinction because of kama manas. But again, we need to endeavor. We realize that there is a manas. We realize there is a pure sentiment. And therefore, this endeavor to go to the manas. Now, who are the manas putras? I mean, what example do we have? How do I know there is a manas? So it is said esoterically, the masters say that Lord Rama, Hercules, then you have Prometheus. These are the Manasa Putras. These are the people who have come to the help of man. They've rescued man and they've offered man ways, paths, tools to evolve. Lord Krishna is a Manasa Putra, though we call him a god, but esoterically he can also be called a Manasa Putra. Arjun is not a Manasa Putra. Arjun is a man like us. And that is a Mahabharata has Lord Krishna giving a pravachan to Arjun. Lord Krishna is a Manasa Putra lecturing Manas, that is man, Arjun. Now, Arjun, does he become a Manasa Putra? It's a different story. We don't know. Mahabharata ends. Arjun and all, they all go away, they all die, they go their respective paths, etc. But the fact of the matter is, the person who gives knowledge, the person who brings fire, the person who brings civic sense, who brings civilization to mankind, is a Manasa Putra. So we are all endeavoring. We know that there is a Manas, and we are all trying to go there by our mutual endeavor, by our mutual self-work, by our swadhyay, by our study. And this satsang is one of the means. Swati, now let's share third slide. Yes. Dear viewers, this is the third slide which I've offered you. See, there are pure ideas. These pure ideas are justice, truth, goodness, beauty. These are archetypes. Please make a note. These are archetypes. You can never attain them. Just as I said sometime back, Mahat, universal justice. You cannot attain universal justice. Not possible. No human being can attain universal justice. We cannot confer universal justice. Only nature, only the divine is capable of universal justice because it is whole. Truth. We all want Sat, but we don't know what Sat is. So truth is universal truth. The pure truth. We cannot get it. Goodness. Pure goodness. Universal goodness. Kindness, no matter what. We can never get it. Beauty. Even if Menka and Urvashi come to our earth, they cannot also represent pure beauty. Because they were only apsaras. They were not divine creatures. Only divine can be pure, beautiful. Only it can carry pure beauty. But how can we manifest these archetypes? That is what I'm trying to. And this is a tool that the Greeks gave us. And Plato talks of these tools. This is not something that I got it from my mind. I mean, this is all a part of our study, part of our esoteric study, how to become better. So therefore, when we talk of these four archetypes, the four purities for truth, the way to manifest truth is politics. Now you will ask me and you will question, how can politics be true? But anyway, that's a different story. But anyway, the point is, the manifestation of truth is politics. The manifestation of goodness. Now you all know that religion is... but anyway, it is still a manifestation of goodness. Culture, beauty, yes, culture. You have the fine arts, the performing arts, dancing, painting, singing, drama, theater, crafts, arts, various. I mean, you see, beauty gets manifested. And anything that gets manifested becomes a source of culture to us because it's a manifestation of our culture. Justice, relationship. No, you have the law also giving justice. But that is not true justice. That is our endeavor to be just. That is our method that we bring. Relationship are made equal. You have, let's say, one looter and one looted. We try to take the wealth from the looter and give it to the looted. We try to equalize the waters, but we don't really indulge in universal justice. But that is the endeavor that the archetypes are wanting. Are you just in your relationship? Are you fair with your wife, with your spouse, with your husband? Are you fair with your children? Are you fair with your employees? Are you fair with your creditors, with your debtors, with your boss, with your servant? What is the kind of relationship you have with them? Are you just in that relationship? And therefore, universal justice we can never catch, but we can bring justice to our relationship. And that is the thing that the Greeks gave us, which Plato in his Republic talks. What is Republic? In the book of, I'm sure most of you are aware that Plato wrote a book called the Republic. The Republic is endeavor to bring Ram Rajya to society. an endeavor to bring evolution to man through politics. Profound ideas of Plato. In his lifetime, just aside, you see, we have this concept of Ram Rajya. There were two people, at least I know in history, who tried to find a king, a prince who would listen to them and who would implement whatever they are teaching so that society becomes perfect. One gentleman who sought a prince all his life was Plato, and he never got a prince. He never got a king. And the other gentleman who endeavored all his life to find a prince who would listen to him to govern well was Confucius, and he never got a king. So Ram Rajya was an endeavor. It is a utopia that we seek. It is a perfect society that we seek, but we are not successful. We are not successful because man is in the process of evolution. We have not reached there. Consciousness of all people is still the animal consciousness. We are all keeping the mirror below. We see the mirror below, the beast. We are not able to turn. We are not able to move it to the nouns. It will take time. Just another aside, because this is interesting and I thought that this is something that I need to say. Buddha is waiting at the gates of nirvana. Buddha did not go through the gates of nirvana. That is again esoterically it is said. But we don't know what nirvana is. But this is what is esoterically said. That Buddha did not cross over into nirvana. Buddha is at the gates of nirvana waiting for all of us. He says that I will go through the gate of nirvana only after I see my last human having crossed through that gate. Now this is called the greatest sacrifice of Lord Buddha. He can easily walk through the gate. No, he's already near nirvana, but he's not taking it. You see, can you imagine more compassion than this? I mean, this is theoretical, I understand, but can you imagine that you got 1 crore of rupees, you got $1 billion, say somewhere, and you say, I will not touch it unless I am able to distribute it well amongst all the people who are the underprivileged. This is what Buddha's statement is, universal compassion, a compassion which is unmatched. So this is what Plato and Confucius tried to bring to our lives, but they failed. In contrast, again I'm going aside because a very interesting topic. There is a gentleman called Niccolo Machiavelli, which you've all heard. And he's considered to be the Black Prophet who wrote that how states are to be governed with brutality. See the distinction between Plato and Machiavelli. Machiavelli is also great. Please, I don't want to run him down. And I tell you, if people who are interested in reading must read the book called The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. Heavy reading, compulsory in political science, but an outstanding literature, outstanding understanding of what human life is. But that's for some other day. So we are on Plato, we are on the Greeks. Now, when the Greeks, of course, give us all this, and it is said that the 6th century BCE was the greatest flowering of the Greek civilization. Hellenistic civilization reached its zenith in the 6th century BCE. And you know what is so important about the 6th century BCE? Buddha was in India, unknown to the Greeks. It is also said that Mahavira was in West India in the 6th century BCE. It is also said that Confucius was around that same time. So that means there was something in that century, 6th century BCE, that gave such profound human thrust to consciousness. And after that, we've never had such profundity available to mankind. Renaissance that we happened in the 16th, 17th, 18th century is also said, I mean, we don't know, again, esoterically it is said that it was actually brought in by the masters of the white hierarchy because they realized that man is going down the wrong path. So we have the masters of the white hierarchy overlooking us, and they bring wisdom to us from time to time. They bring righteousness to us from time to time. So when you hear when you hear somebody saying that Kalki will be the next Vishnu avatar, well, it's a story and it's also a movie, but don't please throw it out as an idea. That idea has some depth, that idea has some meaning. And you must explore that idea. You must investigate that idea that masters have given us hope. Masters are telling you that, look here, we have not abandoned you. We will be sending a Kalki when the time is right. We will help you. Are you ready to help yourself? Are you making the endeavor to evolve? Are you doing the right things? Do you enjoy the right sentiments? Are you generous and compassionate and kind and loving, having universal brotherhood, universal love? Is it a part of you? Because when we come, we want you to be ready. Otherwise, whom will we teach? Whom will we instruct? And they're right. If you are not evolved, what will the master teach you? You will hang the master the way we hanged Jesus Christ. You will stone the way people stoned Prophet Muhammad. So therefore, the master, when he comes, we have to be ready to receive him. And therefore, our self-evolution is extremely important. And folks, I have a lot to say, but I'm almost up. My 1 hour is up. And I'll take a few questions, but I will continue should I get invited again. And we'll take another topic and we will try to link this topic with the next topic that we take up. I will take the Stoics, the Greek Stoics and the Roman Stoics. And Stoics is a beautiful subject. I mean, I'll tell you that if you only read the Stoics, your life will be enriched beyond measure. Excellent. What human thought is capable? How nice can we be? How good can we be? This is what the Stoics teach. You see the mess around us and you start wondering, how does man behave? Crooks and cheats and thugs and murderers and defrauders and bank robbers and robber barons, dirty politicians. I mean, everywhere you see a mess. But you read the Stoics, and the Stoics give you an elevated thinking, and you say, my goodness, this is what man is capable of. And you have no words, but you put your folded hands before those masters and say that, let me sit at your feet and listen to you. Let me sit at your feet and read you. You are a solace to my soul. That is what the Stoics have done, but that is for a different time. That is for a different session. We'll take that some other day. And should your organizers invite me, maybe we'll do it again. And should you invite me physically, I'll be more than happy to come to Bangalore and we can have a personal session. So I hope you all enjoyed it. You all liked it. I give you a lot of information, but please make notes, and this recording is available. So you can listen to me again and you can listen to those portions which really, really inspire. So thank you. I love you very much. And I offer you my universal love of whatever little that I'm capable of. Thank you so much. Questions?
We very much enjoyed, sir. A very, very inspiring talk. And because Manize used to teach us, we were in a position to also relate to many of the things you were covering. It was very, very inspirational and very, very elevating talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Meera here. I'm in Austin, Texas. So
You're in Texas.
I got up early to listen to you. I hope you can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I like the concept of, you said, no, the motor of pain makes you evolve. That was really something, was an eye-opener for me. True, we all go through pain. I think because of that, we strive to move ahead despite that. I think that was a really good one.
Any other observations? Any other questions?
Thank you. I really enjoyed your session. Thank you very much.
Who's this? I cannot hear you. Yes.
My name is
Kashmir Irani. Yes.
Kashmir
Can you put your
Irani.
videos on? At least let me have the pleasure of seeing your faces.
Yeah,
Kashmir, you're on the dot.
I'm sure.
You can switch on
Meera.
your light to behind.
Thank you. I enjoyed your session.
Thank you.
Me too. It was quite a bit of information.
Yeah, this is Malti here, and I enjoyed every minute of this talk because sort of literally took me back to Manise's time when, these are things that she used to also talk a lot
Yeah.
about. And I'm also one who has read a lot of the theosophical books because my husband Janki Ram is also into it in a big way. So it's I could sort of find a kind of a rapport going on, while you were talking. And I'm also a good follower of the Atlantis concept, because I have read before and I always feel I've had a past life there. It's just feeling. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Juzer. That was very nice.
Can
And
you switch on the video, please, so that at least I
sure,
can.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. So thank you once again, Mr. Juzer. It
Ramesh,
was
you're
very
very faint.
clear.
You're very faint. Can you be a little louder?
Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Yes.
Okay. Right. So thank you once again. It was very clear and very articulate. And it's also very obvious that you're passionate about what you speak. And the topic, especially Atlantis, has been a fascinating one for us at the School of Ancient Wisdom. I think over here, I think one thing that also strikes me, apart from what the others have said, is that no matter how advanced people are, and the Atlanteans were technologically very advanced, I think the essence behind life on Earth, perhaps for all human beings, is to really grow and become a better person, and ultimately, seek and ultimately achieve self-realization. So I think probably the essence behind even philosophy is really personal growth and spiritual growth, to that point where one realizes where the lower I, the little ego, kind of melts away. So that is the essence. So it's, Atlantis going through the process of destruction, etc. And any civilization, if you look at it like that, except maybe the current living ones like the Indian and the Chinese, they've all gone through their cycles. So in essence, I think as souls, probably we're born through many of these, we go through many lives. But the essence really is that to become a better person every day, which Mom
You're very
Manzi
faint, Ramesh. You're
would
very,
always-
very faint. I mean, very soft. Please be a little more clear.
Okay. I think it's, I don't know, maybe, what I was saying was that the essence behind all these philosophies, am I audible now?
Yeah, but I think you should keep the microphone very, very near your lips.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose this is better.
Yes.
Right. So the essence behind what you've spoken to us today is that, for me at least, that the purpose of life really is ultimately self-realization. So that is the essence of what I said. What I got, rather, from your talk. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Janki Raman, Janki Ram, Hegade, Malti we had. Jasmine, anything that you wish to share?
Sir, can you give your phone number?
Yeah, I'll put the chat down.
Yes, please.
Nine 9987565619. That is Mr. Juzer's phone number.
Thank you.
So if anybody else has any questions, please do ask. Right. So I think that brings us to the end of our question answer session. We'd like to thank, on behalf of the School of Ancient Wisdom, Mr. Juzer for his insightful talk on Atlantis. And Swati has an announcement from the School of Ancient Wisdom, which is just now put up. This is a contact to the School of Ancient Wisdom for those seekers who wish to get in touch. We have a phone number here and the email ID as well. And I'll read it out. Are you stuck in your spiritual journey? Have unresolved doubts or want to dive deeper into the topic? Explore our daily webinars on our YouTube channel or join us for our Thursday Satsangs, platform for new topics and speakers, which is absolutely free. So yes, please do encourage your friends and loved ones and those seekers who really want to be a better person every day. This is a photograph of young Ma Manize, and we've all known her and loved her dearly. She's been our spiritual guide and a clairvoyant par excellence, and we still experience her presence, overseeing the school and looking after the school, for which we're really very grateful. Right.
Very good. So, permission to take a leave. Thank you. Goodbye. See you again.
Thank you, Mr. Juzer.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So on that note, we now come to the last section. It's the Loka Samasta. So let us sit straight with the back, neck, and head aligned. Please remember your loved ones. And whatever prayer that you want to send to them, let us also send out prayers to the world at large. Please sit straight with your back, neck, and head aligned. Take a nice deep breath. And let go. Center yourself within and observe the silence. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu.